Everyone, welcome to tonight's conversation. I appreciate you tuning in. My guest is a country music star with a powerful voice, a positive outlook, and the ability to keep moving forward in a way that would make Rocky Balboa proud. Please welcome to the show, Sammy Sadler. Hey, Sammy, welcome.
Hey, Bill, thank you for having us on with you today, man. We appreciate it.
Well, it is my pleasure, Sammy, and I'm going to come back to that keep moving forward that I mentioned in the beginning because it really would make Rocky Balboa proud. But I really wanted to start out by talking about some exciting news, and that's the fact that your brand new single, If I Had a Cheating Heart, just dropped. So, what can you tell us about the new song?
Well, that song is an old song. If you remember back in '93, my friend Ricky Lynn Gregg had that out in 1993, and I believe I can't remember if it was on Capitol or Liberty Records, but Ricky Lynn come out with that and had a hit with it. But then I got to looking back and I went back to search on it, and then I found out that Mel Street had it out in 1977 or 78.
Oh,
So
wow.
I had to go listen to Mel's version of it. I mean, he was a great singer and he left us too soon, but he had it in 77 or 78, and then Ricky Lynn had it in 93, and now I've got it in 2025.
I appreciate you sharing that because I was like, I'm like, what? I know that rings a bell. That rings a bell because it was in 1992, 93,
Yeah.
where even though I've lived most of my life in suburban Philadelphia, I became a country music fan right around that time. And there was this guy from Wyoming, this rodeo guy named Chris Ledoux. And
Yeah.
he got me into it. And then it was guys like Ricky Lynn Gregg, John Berry, Black
Yeah.
Hawk, I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
I've been loving it ever since that time frame. So I absolutely remember the song, and I know your version of it is fantastic. So, like you said, you went back and you listened to that previous version. So, what was it like stepping in the studio and doing your version of it?
Well, I feel like that we've captured what I wanted to get on it, and I hope it'll resonate with the listeners and whoever hears it. I feel like we've got a good cut on it, and I feel like we captured the energy I wanted to get on it.
No, absolutely, for sure. And like I said, it just came out Friday the 18th. So it's available
Yes,
now on all the streaming platforms, right? Everywhere you get your music, it's there, right?
yes, yeah. Just go anywhere and stream it, and tell all your friends if you like it. Tell them and tell them to go download it and stream it. We'd appreciate it.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we also appreciate our first and longest running sponsor of the show, Tom and his team of insurance professionals at the Malin Agency. If world class customer service and doing business with someone you can trust is important to you, give Tom and his team a call today for all your insurance needs. I also, Sammy, wanted to ask you about, what else you might have coming up here. We're right knee deep in the summer of 2025. So what else is in the works for you right now and through the rest of the summer and the rest of the year?
Well, I've already got the album finished and cut. It's kind of in the can, so to speak. And so we've got it done, and we don't have to worry about rushing in or trying to get anything done. We've got it finished. And obviously, we'll probably come out with a couple of more singles before we ever release the album. So we've got that done. We're just so excited to get another single out and get things going. And uh, if anybody remembers, if you go back to the early '90s, if anybody remembers the Gibson Miller Band
Hmm.
that was out in the early '90s, well, they won Academy of Country Music's Group of the Year in 1994, and then Blue Miller ended up passing away a few years later, and then Dave Gibson, who was the front man for the Gibson Miller Band. I don't know if Dave really went after another recording career after that, but he has wrote some of the most iconic records of the 80s and 90s and on into the 2000s. I mean, Dave has wrote Jukebox in My Mind for Alabama, If It Don't Come Easy for Tanya Tucker, Ships That Don't Come In for Joe
Oh,
Diffie,
wow. Yeah.
Lonely and Gone for Montgomery Gentry, Queen of Memphis, Daddy Wasn't a Cadillac Kind for Confederate Railroad. One of my favorite artists, Steve Wariner, he wrote Heart Trouble and Midnight Fire. So he has written some of the most iconic songs, and him and I have gotten together and we're putting together a new show and tour called the Hits and History Tour. And so obviously it's going to be, I'm going to be telling everybody about my career and my history and what's gone on in my life. And then Dave will also be telling what's gone on in his and the history and the stories behind some of the songs that he's wrote, that's some of the biggest records in country music.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah.
fantastic. And I'll tell you, I before we started the camera rolling, we talked about how this area, suburban Philadelphia, is big country music territory. So I'm going to be working on seeing what we can do to get that tour up this way because that is definitely a show I want to see. So, anything lined up so far though, in terms of cities or dates or anything like that to
Well,
share yet?
we've just now put everything together. We've got our first show in Nashville,
Okay.
August the 23rd at Chiefs on Broadway, which is Eric Church's
Oh
place
yeah.
there. So we're kicking off everything there, and we're starting to try to book and fill dates
Okay.
on out through 2025 on into 2026 now.
Wow, that's
Well, if
fantastic.
anybody would like to book it, get in touch with us. Go to my website and go to the contact page and email us or send us where you might want to see us and the venues and stuff. We'd love to come and play for you.
No, absolutely. Definitely a show I plan on seeing as soon as it's anywhere, even remotely close. So I appreciate you sharing that, Sammy. Now,
Yes, sir.
right in the intro, I talked about how you had the ability to keep moving forward in a way that would make Rocky Balboa proud. And, I look back at the history of your career and different things that you've been through and the ups and the downs. And the one thing that really shined through as I learned more about your history was that ability to maintain a positive outlook, to keep moving forward, keep moving forward. Where do you draw that strength and inspiration from?
Well, I tell you, Bill, I've been through a lot, as you know, and a lot of people out there don't know my story, or
Yeah.
they might have heard a song called "Murder on Music Row" that George Strait and Alan Jackson
Yep.
had. But I lived the Murder on Music Row back in 1989. Tragedy struck us whenever I had my sixth single out and working on my first album. I had the old Aaron Neville song "Tell It Like It Is" out, and that was my sixth and fastest rising single, and I'd become friends with a guy named Kevin Hughes, and Kevin was the chart manager for Cashbox magazine back then, which was a rivalry to Billboard magazine. And so he was in charge of where the top 100 records move on the charts from 100 to number one. And it just so happens that I had my record out, Tell It Like It Is, and is moving up the charts. And then tragedy struck us on March the 9th. Kevin was shot and murdered. I was shot and left for dead, and it went around the world as the Murder on Music Row. And as I look back over all of that, I didn't know it at the time when all this happened to us, but Kevin was a Christian and I hadn't been saved at that time. And for God to save me and bring me through all of that and reach down and pick me up out of millions of people to give me a second chance in life, I'm just so grateful and thankful. And now, as I look back on my life, I know that God had his hand on me the whole time.
No, that is amazing, Sammy. And I know the story. And folks, I'm going to encourage you to go to Sammy's website, not just for the tour information, not just to see the music, but the story. And there's a video, there's a link to a video, I believe it was from Court TV.
Yeah,
On there.
we've done everything, man. I think the link that might be on there that they've got is Court TV's uh, with Tamron Hall, I believe it's
Yes.
with.
Yeah. It was
I
like a
think that's
full
who it's with.
episode
Someone
on.
they knew is the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That
yeah, you
was,
can go there. But man, I mean, we've done everything from Unsolved Mysteries to A&E Cold Case Files to Nancy Grace to Entertainment Tonight. I mean, it went all over the world. And, I'm just, why God saved me and I'm the sole survivor, I don't know. But I'm just so thankful and grateful that He thought enough of me to keep me.
yeah. Well, and not only that, Sammy, which I appreciate you saying that, but there was also a lot of years where you were kind of like looking over your shoulder too
Yeah,
after this happened.
it's funny, Bill, all of that happened to us. And, obviously at the time I was 21 years old and I believe Kevin was in it 23 or 24. And, I had no idea. Him and I didn't talk about the business or about what was going on at Cashbox. We didn't discuss any of that stuff. And, I didn't know how the music business was run or how things happened in the music business. And so I lived 13 and a half years of my life wondering, was somebody still trying to kill me or what was it all about? And, even when it all happened and I survived all of it and went through it, The police ended up treating me like I was a suspect or had something to do with this. And I took a lie detector test and was hypnotized at Vanderbilt, passed all of that, and still was made to feel that way. And I mean, man, it was so hard to have to live through that and go through that. And I'm just, again, man, I can't, all I can tell you is that God had his hand on me.
Yeah, and I think when I asked you earlier where the strength and inspiration came from, I think it came from above. It sounds pretty
It
clear to
did. I
me.
mean, it definitely was God. And, uh, he is the only one that sustained me and brought me through everything that I've been through. Otherwise, I would have never made it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too is that even after that, and you've put out some albums, you've been on your share of tours, over the
Yeah.
years, and like I said, kind of those ups and downs, and then I will tell you, we're just a couple of weeks removed from July 4th, and
Yeah.
folks, another thing you have to check out is Sammy's In America song.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
on my playlist for July 4th, and anytime I'm feeling patriotic, it's a wonderful song. And the video on YouTube is wonderful too. So I just want to thank you for putting that out as well.
Man, I love that song. A friend of mine, Tom Payton, and Dewana Litz wrote that song. And whenever I heard that song, I told Tom, I said, man, I got to record this song. And I'm not saying it because it's me and because I recorded it, but I believe if you listen to that song, it's timeless.
Hmm.
And I believe it's just as strong a song as God Bless the USA. I
Yeah.
mean, I just firmly believe it. And if you listen to the lyrics of the song, I mean, it's what's going on in our world today, you know?
No, absolutely. And it's very uplifting. And it's like you said, the other thing it has in common, I think, with God Bless the USA is what I call the goosebump factor. You get goosebumps listening to it and watching the video, no matter how many times I listen to it.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know, that video is very special to me because my dad's in that video, and I lost my dad July 1st last year. So
Wow.
I'll always have that and be able to look and see him in it, you know.
No, absolutely. And sorry for your loss of your dad. I
I
know it,
appreciate that.
having been through that, I know how tough that can be, but you're right. It's great having that memory forever
Yeah,
etched in that video. Wow.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
Now, if we look at the other songs in the new album, I know you said you got it in the can. So
Yeah.
how did you go about picking the songs that are on this latest album?
You know, I've got some new things on there. I've got songs that I've been holding on to for a while. I've also went back, like I said, even with the If I Had a Cheating Heart, I went back to some songs and found songs that were records that were favorites of mine 25, 30 years ago. And, today's listeners may have never heard these songs, and they touch me, and they're songs that I love. So I went back and I've tried to capture some of those songs. I've got some guest artists that are going to be on the album. I can't reveal who all that is right now, but I'm so excited to have some of these guys on the record with me. And I just feel like it's if you like late 80s, early 90s country music, I feel like you're really going to like this album, and I think you're going to enjoy it whenever it gets out.
Well, I don't know that there are too many bigger fans of that era than me. Like I said, that's around the time I got into it. So I'm looking forward to hearing every single one of them. And the other aspect, Sammy, of your craft that I wanted to make sure I touch on is, I listened back to your songs and your voice from the early days. And then I
Hmm.
listened more recently to, and then there's even you doing the cover of Shenandoah's, Church on Cumberland Road.
Yeah.
That involves some serious notes in that song. How have you kept your voice as strong as it is?
Well, I mean, again, man, I've just been blessed by the Lord, and as you get older, I mean, I've had a little bit of problems with it. A few months ago, I was having, I don't know if it's allergies or what was going on, but I ended up going to the voice clinic here in Dallas, and they looked at it and said my vocal cords as you get older they get a little thinner, so they've been working with me and they've showed me some different things, and it's really helped and clearing it back up. So I'm thankful that I was able to find those guys because I thought I was going to have to go to Vanderbilt to the voice clinic there in Nashville, but then I ended up finding that we've got one here in Dallas, and all of those guys have been through the stuff at Vanderbilt. So I was
Wow.
thankful to find them in Dallas, so I didn't have to go back and forth to Nashville.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
fantastic. Because I'll tell you, it's I've done some singing myself over the years, and over the last couple of years, my throat's kind of betrayed me, and they haven't, really been able to pinpoint it. And we talked, folks, before we turned the camera on, but we had a little football talk since Sammy's from Dallas, Texas, and I'm
yeah,
obviously at Philadelphia. So, and I've always said I think the Cowboys are the fourth best team in the NFC East.
yeah.
But
I
I might
hear
have to
you.
come down there to that voice clinic.
You gotta. I'll hook you up, man. Let me know.
All right. And sorry
Yeah.
about the shot about the Cowboys. I couldn't help
Hey,
myself.
man, I tell you, I mean, I've been a Cowboy fan, probably all my life, but it's really disappointing to know that we've got what we've got and we can't build the team that can take us there. I mean, it's disheartening. And you guys dealt with it there in Philadelphia for a long
Yeah.
time, but now y'all are having success. So I mean, you know how we feel,
Oh yeah. No,
you know.
absolutely. And you know what? It's a fun rivalry.
Yeah,
It's great that if you look back over the last, 40 years, most years both teams are relevant. So
yeah,
that's what keeps it fun. It's not like
right.
some of the other divisions where, you had New England every year where there was New
Yeah,
England and then those other teams in the AFC East. So the
right.
NFC East is a tough division just about and I think there's only been two repeat division champs over the last 20 some years.
20
That's
something years, yeah. It's been a big rivalry. We've that, for a long time, but
yeah.
it's always fun to poke at everybody,
Yeah. Well, I wish you guys all the best except for 2 weeks out of the coming season.
Yeah.
And,
I
and
hear you.
other than
I
that,
hear
I
you.
wish you all the best. And now I have to pivot into something that I think the fact that we're laughing and smiling is a nice segue into, and that's the fact that I love when I see someone like Sammy who puts out positive content, okay? And I told him that I had to bring this up because it's something that really caught my eye. I've been watching it as often as I can, and it's Sammy's thought of the day on your Facebook page. So I'm wondering, first and foremost, what inspired you to start doing that and what keeps you doing it?
Well, we were sitting around one day and trying to figure out what could we do on a daily basis. And um, Melody, my fiance, she said, why don't we come up with a thought of the day? And we got to thinking about it and we said, yeah, that might be something good. And so she started, helping me and we started doing this and it's just something that we've kept doing and we try to do it, every day. There may be a few times where we've gotten busy and forgot to do it or didn't have time to do it, but we try to do it every day. And, like you and I were talking about earlier, Bill, I mean, the world that we live in, man,
Hmm.
is all you hear about every time you turn on the news, man, is bad things or
Yeah.
something happening to somebody, and so we just try to do the best we can to, to try to give a positive thought and try to be as positive. You know how it is, man. Sometimes we get down
Yeah.
but man, I mean, no matter what we're going through, man, God gives us a breath to take and wake us up every day. And it's just a blessing, man, just to wake up every day and have another day.
Absolutely. And I also love how you end it with "I'll see you when I see you." That's
I'll
pretty
see
cool
you when I
too.
see you. That's
Yeah.
we come up with that. And I forget it. And Mel will say, "You forgot to say I see you when I see you." And I said, "Well, I can't remember all the time, but we
Well,
try to do it, man." And that's something that's kind of caught on a little bit.
no, and it's much appreciated. So folks, again, check out Sammy's Facebook page. Look, most days, I won't say every day just in case,
Yeah.
but most days you're going to see something that's going to pick you up because it's been picking me up and I really enjoy it. So now I wanted to take another quick look back, Sammy, and that is if we look back at all you've accomplished and all you've been through over the years, what would you say you're most proud of?
Becoming a Christian.
Hmm.
When like I said earlier, when all that happened to us, I wasn't a Christian and I didn't know God, man. And as I look back, I'm so grateful that He saved me and I'm so grateful that I know Him now. I'm a work in progress every day like everybody, but I'm so thankful that I'm here and I know the Lord like I know Him. And I've got a song that we've recorded and it's a gospel song and a song that we're writing another chapter to go in my book. That's going to be we're going to reintroduce the book after
Okay.
we get this chapter done, and this song more than likely is going to be in the book where people can get it, and it's called Again. And you know, no matter what we go through, sometimes we fall, we got to get back up, and but still we can come back to God again and again and again and ask Him to forgive us. And man, I'm just so thankful for that.
No, I can't think of anything, that you could be more proud of than that. And so I appreciate you sharing that. It's a question that I always enjoy asking, and I think you learn, at least I have anyway, in these conversations. I think I've learned more about each person by how they answer that question than anything else. So I really appreciate your honesty and openness in sharing that. And so I had one last question for you, and that's kind of going in the other direction now. So instead of looking back, let's take a look forward because now you've got the new album in the can, the new music coming out, the tour you're going to be doing with Dave Gibson and other things in the works, like the gospel song you just mentioned. So if you were to look ahead, what would success ultimately look like for you in your career?
Well, a lot of people uh, look at success of having hit records. I mean, I just my whole deal is I just want to bring my music to the people. I want to bring my story of what I've lived through, and music is a powerful thing, and it'll touch you where other things can't get to you, or it'll dig deep down into your feelings and emotions, and it'll
Yeah.
take you back in time. When you were younger, you remember things, and I just hope that I can get my music back out to the people. I've had three different record deals since all of this stuff happened to us in '89. And every time we've gotten the record deal, Bill, we've got things going and they'll release a single or something. And every time the label has either restructured
Ugh.
with in-house stuff, or they get bought out and they close down the Nashville country division. And that's what's happened to me three different times. And I've got a couple of labels that are talking to me right now, and I don't know whether I'll do another label deal or not. And if we don't, we've decided if we don't do something like that, we're going to just do it ourselves and put it out so that nobody can stop and start us, and so that we can release the music that we want to, get it out when we want to, and hopefully the people will find it and hear it and resonate with it. And to me, that is just to be able to go out and get back out to where we can bring the live shows to everybody, and I can share my story of what I've been through and what I've survived, because what I survived was a gunshot. I don't know what somebody is going through out there. I don't know what somebody may be facing in their life. I just
Right.
want them to know not to give up. You're not alone, that God's there with you. And if you just look to Him and believe in Him, He can bring you through anything.
Wow. And I think that the really cool thing about what you're looking at in terms of what that success would look like will lead to success and happiness for other people and joy, because that's what you're really looking to bring and help.
Well, I mean, that's, like I said, I want people to know that, life is not over. You may think whatever's going on in your life, it's the worst thing in the world. And there's people going through many, many things that none of us know. But I just want them to know that God is there with you. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. And I know that if you believe in Him and trust in Him and ask Him, He can bring you through anything.
Amen to that. Well, Sammy, I have to tell you, I have enjoyed every minute of our conversation, and I will tell you, I'm looking forward to following up and see what we can do to get you up here in the Northeast in Eagles country,
We'd love to,
for a
man.
show because I know it'll be
We'd love to.
awesome, and I will be there front and center. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your story, just being so open and honest. I much appreciate it. And I wish you nothing but the best with the new single, new album, the tour with Dave Gibson, and everything you've got coming up.
Man, I appreciate you, Bill. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna show everybody my book.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
right.
it's a hit with a bullet, the real murder on Music Row. And if anybody wants to get a copy of that and copies of my other releases that I've had out previous to this, go to my website at sammysadler.com. If you'd like an autographed copy, you can get it there on my website, and we'll be glad to send that to you. If they're not a big reader, they can get my book and stuff on the Audible and listen to it, or they can go to Amazon or any bookstore and order it through there. And we just appreciate you giving us an opportunity to be heard and to be seen, because without you guys and without the fans, there are no singers.
Yeah. Amen to that. And I'm glad that you appreciate and understand that, because not everybody does.
I appreciate it, man. And it doesn't matter to me if we can be heard anywhere and our music can be heard, and you guys give us a voice. I just want to thank you for that, man. It means a lot to us.
Sure. You got it, Sammy. Thank you
Thank you,
again.
man.
Also, and folks, I thank you for watching. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. We'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
If I had a cheating heart, your eyes tell me you don't mean maybe. Oh baby, you're making it hard. It would be easy to let you please me if I had a cheating heart.
This week's episode has been brought to you by Doherty & Company Insurance Services for all your business and personal insurance needs. Our friends at Tennis Addiction in Exton, PA. And the Malin Agency, where exceeding expectations is how they do business.